Okay, now folks, I hope you are enjoying the videos I am showing you. Now this video deals with the Drona Stupa. The Drona Stupa, see, Drona was a Brahman who was the person who divided the Buddha's relics between 8 kings, and he put some honey on the pitcher which he used to divide the relics, the utensil which he used to divide the relics, and what do you call it, due to which some of the relics got stuck to the honey. He brought that back to his country. Now the catchword is his country, and he made a stupa over it. Folks, that is your Desna stupa. Des means country, and he made a stupa over it, and he put the vessel into it. But then Ashoka came and opened it and took out most of the relics and the vessel, and nearby he made another stupa, and that is Asthama. Asthia means relics. Asthia means relics, and what do you call it? And that stupa is a very big stupa. It is much smarter than Desna. So folks, Hyun Sang goes to Desna. He, from Khardia, which is in Patal Ganga Chatti, he goes 84 kilometers east to what he calls Chenchu, that is Chhapra. And then he goes 56 kilometers east to Ashpatpur Singya Urf Latiahi. That is the first Tibetan Sangrama for Tibetans. And then from there he goes southeast 28 kilometers to what he calls Moho Salo, that is Mahua Tal. And then he goes 8 kilometers east to Mahakar, where the Buddha, tamed some criminals. And then from there he goes 28 kilometers again southeast to the Drona Stupa, which is Desna and Asthama. And then from there he goes 42 kilometers northeast and then crosses the Ganges to Pidholi, which Hyun Sang mispronounces as Fisheli and which was misdeciphered by Samuel Beale as Vaishali. So folks, enjoy the video of the Drona Stupa. It is a unique find. The picture will be in the Asthama Stupa. So folks, enjoy the video. Now, in this section, in this video, I will be taking you on the route Hyun Sang takes from Khardia, which is in Isi Patana, in the country of Patal Ganga Chatti, which you saw in the last video. And he goes, I'm dealing in from pages 61 to 66. In page 66, he reaches Fisheli, which is Pidholi, misdeciphered as Vaishali. So basically, from Khardia, he goes 84 kilometers east to a place he calls Chenchu. Hyun Sang calls Chenchu, that is Chhapra. And from there, he goes 56 kilometers east to the first Tibetan Sangrama. And that is Ashpatpur Singya Urf Latiahi. And then he crosses the Ganges and goes 28 kilometers southeast to what he calls Moho Salo, that is Mahua Tal. And from there he goes to Mahakar and then to the Drona Stupa, folks. He goes from Mahakar, he goes 100 li, which is 28 kilometers southeast to the Drona Stupa, where Ashoka Stupa is and the Drona Stupa is. And then from there he goes 42 kilometers northwest and crosses the Ganges to Fisheli, which is Pidholi, and which was misdeciphered as Vaishali. So folks, as usual, the book is CU Ki Buddhist Records of the Western World, translated by Samuel Beal. This is from page 61 to 66. Folks, enjoy Yun Sang's journey. In my last video, I showed you Patal Ganga Chatti, which is Isi Patana. Chatti is Isi and Patal Ganga is Patana. Isi Patana. I showed you the Khardiha, which was the hair stupa, and then Baliaria, the tradition of the champion, and Gyanpur, where the Buddha first preached. Folks, I showed you Gyanpur and Baliaria and then Khardiha. Now from Khardiha, Yun Sang let's travel with Yun Sang and let's see where he goes. He goes from Khardiha 300 leagues east to a place he calls Chenchu. 300 leagues east to a place he calls Chenchu. Let's see, read Siyuki. See, this is the hare Jataka story where the hare sacrifices himself on the fire so that Sakra, king of Devas, can feed on him. So Sakra, king of Devas, realizes that the hare is going according to the Buddha's principles. So therefore, throughout, after all the ages have said, the hare is therefore after ages all have said the hare is in the moon. Sakra, king of Devas, puts the hare on the moon. After this event, men built a stupa on the spot, that is Khardiha, which I showed you, Khardiha stupa. So that is the hare stupa. Khar means hare, diha means stupa. So Khardiha means the hare stupa. Okay, now let's see from where he goes from there. Leaving this country and going down the Ganges eastwards, 300 li. Now 300 li is around 84 kilometers. 300 li is around 84 kilometers. Also, we come to the country of Chenchu. Now let's see where Chenchu is. Leaving this country and going down the Ganges eastward, 300 li or so, we come to the country of Chenchu. Folks, this is Chhapra. Let's see the satellite picture. I have fixed the divider at 20 kilometers approximately. Now let's measure. You have Khardiha here, 20 kilometers, 40 kilometers, 60 kilometers, 80 kilometers falls just before Chhapra, and 4 more kilometers is Chhapra, that is Chenchu, folks. Chenchu is your Chhapra. Let's measure again. Khardiha, here we go, 20, 40, 60, 80. 80 and 4 more kilometers, 84 kilometers, Chhapra, that is 300 leagues, folks. See how accurate Yun Sang is. Imagine it, it's amazing. Now, the road is 107 kilometers. By road, from Khardiha to Chhapra is 107 kilometers. And Yun Sang gives his measurements as the crow flies, folks. That means India was mapped. See, the road is 107 kilometers. And what do you call it? As the crow flies, Yun Sang gives 84 kilometers, which is accurate in the satellite pictures. That means India was mapped, folks. So this is Chhapra, Chenchu. Now let's see what there was there in Chenchu. In a Sangrama to the northwest of the capital. To the northwest of the capital, that is to the northwest of Chhapra, is a stupa built by Ashoka Raja. The Indian tradition says this stupa contains a peck of the relics of Tathagat. So this was to the northwest of Chhapra is a Buddha relic stupa. Formerly, when the Lord of the world dwelt in this place, during 7 days he preached the excellent law for the sake of an assembly of devas. Beside the place are traces where the three Buddhas of the past age sat and walked where they sat. Walked and where they sat. Close by is an image of Maitreya Bodhisattva. Although of small dimensions, its spiritual presence is great and its divine power is exhibited from time to time in a mysterious manner. So folks, northwest of Chhapra was a Buddha relic stupa. Now let's see a close-up of Chhapra or Heung Sang's Chenchu. Heung Sang says northwest of the capital city, that is Chenchu, is a Buddha relic stupa, folks. So exactly northwest of Chhapra, which is Chenchu, is Bhagwat Baba temple. Bhagwat is the Buddha's name. Bhagwat is the Buddha's name. In Vaishali, he is known as Bhagwat. In fact, in the Amrapali Sutra, he is they know him, he is mentioned as Bhagwat. And it is exactly northwest of Chhapra. Now I haven't videographed this place, I haven't checked it up, I will have to go and check it up. And then Heung Sang says there is a small statue of Maitreya, which is small but it is very powerful. Now Mathya sounds very similar to Maitreya. This place is Sandha Mathya. Sandha means it is that rock salt. The Sandha Mathya sounds similar to Maitreya. Anyway, you have Bhagwat, which is clearly the Buddha's name. So I will have to check out this temple, Bhagwat Baba temple. And Sandha Mathya. Mathya is very similar to Maitreya. So this is the spot where Heung Sang could have seen the small statue of Maitreya Bodhisattva. And see, these are all northwest of Chhapra. See, when it is close to a certain place, Heung Sang doesn't give the mileage, he just gives the bearings. And he doesn't give the distance because it's close. And when it's far away, then he gives the mileage. So up here, the fact that he did not give mileage means it was close by to the northwest, but it was close by. So this is Bhagwat Baba temple, where Bhagwat Baba seems to be the Buddha's name. And it is definitely, he was known as Bhagwat in the Amrapali Sutra and in Vaishali. So I will check that out. And Mathya is similar to Maitreya. Now let's see where Heung Sang takes us from Chhapra or his Chenchu. Now let's see where he goes from Chhapra. Going east from the chief city is Chhapra or Chenchu. Going east from the chief city about 200 li. Now 200 li will be around 56 kilometers, folks. 200 lees will be around 56 kilometers. We come to a Sangrama called Opitokilana. And what is this is his mispronunciation. Opitokilana. It is ears not pierced. 1 second. Ears not pierced. So folks, that Opitokilana is ears not pierced. Now let's see where this place is. Here we have Chhapra. Hyun Sang says east of Chhapra, 56 kilometers, is the place where which he calls Opitokilana. So what do you call it? Exactly east of Chhapra is Ashpatpur Singya urf Latiahi. Hyun Sang says the place's name means ears not pierced. Latiahi means unpierced. Latiahi means unpierced. Now, Opito, Ashpat. Ash is O, Pat is P, and Tapur is To. Singya is Ki, and Latiahi is Lana. So, Ashpatpur Singya urf Latiahi is what do you call it? Hyun Sang's Opitokilana. See, Ash is O, Pat is P, Pat Tapur is To, Singya is Ki, Sing is Ki, and Latiahi is Lana. So Ashpatpur Singya urf Latiahi, what do you call it? Latiahi means without ears pierced. And this is the first Sangrama for Tibetans who had come, 3 Tibetans who had come over from a country from a place called Tu Ho Lo from across the Himalayas. Let's see what Hyun Sang has to say about it. I forgot to do measurements. See, it has to be 56 kilometers to the east of Chhapra. So that is 20 kilometers, folks. That was 20 kilometers. It's fixed at 20 kilometers. See, 20 kilometers, 40 kilometers, and 60 kilometers is just somewhere above Ashpatpur, so that round dot will be around 55 to 56 kilometers, folks. Exactly 56 kilometers is the place where Latiahi unpierced ear. So Chhapra, Ashpatpur Singyal urf Latiahi is east, and it is within 55 to 56 kilometers east. So it fits into Hyun Sang's, bearings. The tradition states, formerly there were 2 or 3 Sramanas passionately fond of learning who lived in the country of Tu Ho Lo, to the north of the snowy mountains. The snowy mountains is the Himalayas. So these were from Tu Ho Lo, that is from the north of the snowy mountains, the north of Himalayas, that means Tibet, and were of one mind. Each day during the intervals of worship and reciting the scriptures, they talked together in this way. The excellent principles of religion are dark and mysterious, not to be fathomed in careless talk. The sacred relics, traces, shine with their own peculiar splendor. Let us go together from place to place and tell our faithful, believing friends that what sacred relics we ourselves have seen. So these 3 decided to come to India on a pilgrimage of Buddhist sites. On this, the 2 or 3 Sramanas associates, taking their religious staves, went forth to travel together, arrived in India at whatever convent gates they called, they were treated with disdain as belonging to a frontier country, and no one would take them in. They were exposed to the winds and the rains without and within. They suffered from hunger. Their withered bodies and pallid faces showed their misery. At this time, the king of the country, in his wandering through the suburbs of the city, saw those 3 strange priests. Surprised, he asked them, "What region, mendicant masters, come you from, and why are you here with your unpierced ears?" See, unpierced ears. Those days, Indians had pierced ears. And foreigners had unpierced ears. So these Tibetans had unpierced ears. Because, Indians would wear balis, earrings. And so they had to pierce their ears. So these foreigners had unpierced ears. And your soiled garments. The Sramanas replied, "We are men of the Two-Holo country, having received with respect the bequeathed doctrine with high resolve, we have spurned the common pursuits of life, and following the same plan, we have come to see and adore the sacred relics. But alas, for our little merit, all alike here cast us out. The Sramanas of India deign not to give us shelter, and we would return to our own land. But we have not yet completed the round of our pilgrimage. Therefore, with much fatigue and trouble in heart, we follow on our way till we have finished our aim." The king, hearing these words, was much affected with pity, and forthwith erected on this fortunate sight a sangrama, and wrote on a linen scroll the following decree: "It is by the divine favor of the Sri one Buddha Dharma Sangha that I am sole ruler of the world and the most honored among men. Having acquired sovereignty over men, this charge has been put on me by Buddha to protect and cherish all who wear the garments of religion, soiled or dyed garments. I have built the Sangrama for the special entertainment of strangers. Let no priest with pierced ears." Now, let no priest with pierced ears ever dwell in this convent of mine. So the people with pierced ears means Indian priests were not allowed in this convent. Let no priest with pierced ears ever dwell in this convent of mine. Because of these circumstances, the place received its name, that is Ashpatpur Singya of Latiyahi. Latiyahi means without pierced, not unpierced. So folks, that is your Ashpatpur Singya of Latiyahi. Now let's see where he goes from his Opito Ki Lana or Ashpatpur Singya of Latiyahi. or the place where people with pierced ears could not stay. So, going southeast from the convent of Opito Ki Lana, that is Ashpatpur Singya Urf Latiyahi, about 100 li is 28 kilometers, folks. So 20 around he goes going southeast from the convent of Opito Ki Lana is about 28 kilometers and passing to the south of the Ganges. So he passes to the south of the Ganges. We come to the town of Moho Salo. So let's see where Moho Salo is, folks. We are here at Ashpatpur Singya Latiyahi, which is Hyunsang's Opito Ki Lana, unpierced ears. What do you call it? He goes 28 kilometers after crossing the Ganges. He goes 28 kilometers northeast after crossing the Ganges to Moho Salo. Moho Salo is Mahua Tal. Moho Salo is Mahua Tal. See, it's 28 kilometers to Moho Salo is Mahua Tal. See, now this has been fixed at 10 kilometers. 10 kilometers. Now let's do some measurements. That is Mahua Tal. Here we go. 10, 20 and 20. Mahua Tal is a bit less than 30, that is 28 kilometers. See the accuracy of Hyunsang. My God, it's amazing. From across the Ganges, the 100 li is 28 kilometers to Moho Salo, that is Mahua Tal. Let's see, 10, 20 and 10, 20 and 28 kilometers, folks. It's Moho Salo is Mahua Tal Nagar Nausa. Moho Salo is Mahua Tal Nagar Nausa. So folks, this was a place where there were Brahmins. They just questioned Hyunsang. They did not believe in the Buddha's law, and they questioned Hyunsang and let him carry on. And Hyunsang did not stop here. Here you have Moho Salo, and Hyunsang doesn't stop here. See, inhabitants which are all Brahmins and do not respect the law of the Buddha. Seeing the Sraman, they first inquired as to his studies, and ascertaining his profound knowledge, they then treated him with respect. So, what do you call it? And on the north of the Ganges, there is a temple of Narayan Deva. I will search for that temple later on. Nalo Yen. Later on, anyway, now from Moho Salo, where does he go? So, this is Mahua Tal, Nagar Nausa, Hyunsang's Moho Salo. Now let's see where Nalo Yen is. Nalo Yen, which the translator by mistake translated as Narayan Deva. It's not Narayan Deva. So it was north of Moho Salo. That means north of Mahua Tal. But the translator wrote it north of the Ganges. Now why would he come south of the Ganges and then go back north of the Ganges for no reason at all? So basically, Nalo Yen is Narail, folks. It is just below the Ganges, just slightly south of the Ganges, and it is north of Moho Salo or Mahua Tal, Nagar Nausa. So, what do you call it? See, it is north of Mahua Tal, Nagar Nausa. Actually, slightly northeast. So this is Jagdamba Sthan Naraili. Nalo Yen is Naraili Sthan. Nalo Yen is Naraili Sthan. That is Jagdamba. There is a very popular Hindu temple up here. See, the railway line is there and the station is there. It's Karauta station. I used to, on my way to Patna, I would always see this temple. And sometimes at some seasons there's a lot of rush up here, a lot of people come here, pilgrims. So now the fact that Hyun Sang has mentioned it, Narauli, Nalo Yen, he I plan to visit that temple and videograph it. It's in Karauta, Narauli, and it is a very popular temple. So we have seen Nalo Yen. Let's go back to Moho Salo. Now from Mahua Tal, Moho Salo, let's see where he goes. Going east from this temple, 30 leagues, from this temple is Mahua Tal. That is his Moho Salo. So going east from Moho Salo, 30 leagues, that is about 8 kilometers, folks. Also, there is a stupa built by Ashoka Raja. The greater part, a great half, is buried in the earth. Before it is a stone pillar about 20 feet high, on the top of which is the figure of a lion. There is an inscription cut in it, the pillar, respecting the defeat of the evil spirits. Formerly in this place, there was some desert demons who, relying on their great strength and spiritual capabilities, fed on the flesh and blood of men. So there were cannibals here. They made havoc of men and did the utmost mischief. Tathagat, in pity to living creatures who were deprived of their natural term of days, by his spiritual power converted the demons and led them from reverence to him to accept the command against murder. The demons, receiving this instruction, respectfully saluted him. Moreover, they brought a stone requesting Buddha to sit down, desiring to hear the excellent law from his mouth, that they might learn how to conquer their thoughts and hold themselves in check. And Hyun Sang later goes on to say that this stone is immovable. So this is where the Buddha defeated the demons and converted them into good men. Now let's see where that place is. See, this is Mahua Tal, that is Moho Salo. He goes 30 li east, that means 8 kilometers, to Mahakal. Mahakal is the ancient rendering of Mahakal. Mahakal is the killer of killers. The Buddha had killed the killing of the killers. So he was the Mahakal, folks. So see, Moho Salo, and this has been fixed at 2 kilometers. Now let's see. Here is Mahua Tal or Moho Salo, 2, 4, 6, 8. See, here is Mahakar and this is Sudhri. Now this is Mahakar and this is Sudhri. See, Sudhri. Sudhri means to change. Sudhar Jana means to change from an awful man to a good man. Sudhar Jana means to change from an awful man to a good man. And Mahakar, Mahakal is the killer of killers. The Buddha had killed the killers. He killed the killing instinct of the killers and made them into good men. That is Sudri. They became good men, means Sudri is to change, convert into good people. So this is the place where the Buddha and you see there are two places. One is the stupa itself, the Ashokan stupa, and the other is the Ashokan pillar with a lion on top, which has the inscription which tells this entire episode. So this either it is Mahakal or Sudri. See, you will always get a pillar with a similar name to the stupa. So folks, this is your spot. Enjoy the video. Now folks, we are on our way to Mahakal and Sodri. Sodri means to become good people, to a change of character for the good. So folks, this place was highly criminalized in the Buddha's time, and the criminals had become cannibals. They had become man-eaters, and they had become a problem for the area. So the Buddha came, and he came and he converted them, and he changed them into good people. So folks, Hyun Tsang comes here 8 kilometers east of what he calls Moho Salo, that is Mahua Tal Nagar Nausa. So folks, he comes around 28 kilometers southeast from his Asparpur Singya Urf Latiahi, which is the Tibetan monastery. So folks, this is the place where the Buddha tamed the criminals and made them into good citizens. They got hold of a rock and for the Buddha to sit. And so folks, this is the place where the Buddha enjoyed the video. Okay, now folks, I am in Mahakal village where the Buddha tamed the criminals. This village has settled down on an Ashokan stupa, and this is the place where the criminals had become a problem for the area, and the Buddha had come and converted them into proper humans, and they all listened to what the Buddha had to say. And the criminals, they were so infatuated with the Buddha that they got hold of a rock and they put it here, brought it to this place for the Buddha to sit and preach to them. So folks, I will be searching for that rock, and this is Mahakal. Mahakal means killer of killers. Mahakal is killer of killers. So basically the Buddha killed the killing tendency of the criminals who had become cannibals. So, and Hyun Tsang came here from what he called Moho Salo, that is Mahua Tal Nagar Nausa. He came 8 kilometers to the east to Mahakal, where I am standing. And just close by is this Sodri. Sodri will be the Ashokan pillar, stone pillar, Hyun Tsang mentioned. And Sodri means to become good people. Sodri means to become good people. So folks, this is the place where the Buddha tamed the criminals, And just east of here is Sodri, which is the pillar, Ashokan pillar. And from here, the Buddha goes 28 kilometers southeast to the Drona Stupa. So, folks, this is Mahakar, the Ashokan Stupa. Hyun Sang mentions. Enjoy the video. Let's see where he goes from Mahakar and Sudri. Going southeast from Sudri, where those people were changed from man-eaters to good people, the criminals were changed. Going southeast from this 100 li, that is 28 kilometers or so. So 28 kilometers southeast of Mahakar and Sudri, we come to a ruined stupa, but still several tens of feet high. Formerly, after the nirvana of Tathagat, the great kings of the 8 countries divided his relics. The Brahman who meted out their several portions, smearing the inside of his pitcher with honey, after allotting them their shares, took the pitcher and returned to his country. Now what did he do? He returned to his country. Now the catchword of this stupa is the country. The catchword of the stupa, or of the name of this stupa, which you call the Drona stupa, is the country, is his country. He then scraped the remaining relics from the vessel and raised over them a stupa, and in honor to the vessel, he placed it also within the stupa, and hence the name Drona Stupa. Drona Stupa. So this is the Drona Stupa. The catchword was country, which means Des, was given. Afterwards, Ashoka Raja, opening the stupa, took the relics and the pitcher, and in place of the old one built a great stupa. To build a great stupa. So, folks, this is your Drona stupa. Now, let's see where it is. It is 100 li southeast of Mahakar and Sudri. That means 100 li is 28 kilometers. Let's see where 28 kilometers southeast takes us. So you have your Moho Salo, Mahua Tal, then you have Mahakar and Sudri. Now 28 kilometers southwest. Okay. Now let's see 28 kilometers southwest of Sudri. Sudri means to change character. 10, 20, 28 kilometers is Desna, folks. Desna. 28 kilometers is Desna. Remember, the catchword was Des, the country. The country, that means Des. See, Desna, that is the Drona Stupa, folks. 10, 20, and 28 kilometers is Desna Stupa up here, Desna. So that is Desna. And then Hyun Sang goes on to say that Ashoka opened the stupa, took out the pitcher and most of the relics. He took out the vessel with which the Brahman had divided the relics, and he made a bigger stupa next to it. This is Asthava. This is the biggest stupa next to it. This is Asthava. Let's see a close-up of these places. See, folks, this is Asthava. See that the name is here. the stupa is here. See, it's a perfect circle. Asthava. And asthava means asthiyam. Asthya means relics. Asthya means relics. So this is the Ashoka's relic stupa. And this is Desna. The name is there, the stupa is here, the village is here. This is the relic stupa of the Drona or the Brahman who brought the relics back to his country, folks. Enjoy the video. Okay, now folks, now I am on my way. I've hit the road. I'm on my way in search of the Drona Stupa. The Drona Stupa, which the historians claim to have found somewhere else. That's wrong. The Drona Stupa is in a place called Desna. And there are two, I suspect there are two stupas. Asthava, Asthi means the relics of someone. Asthi Kalash in Hindi means relics of someone. So I am traveling towards Asthava, next to which is Desna. Now Desna is the Drona Stupa. I have to check it up. I have to see if there is a stupa there. But from satellite pictures, it looked like a stupa. And Asthava was perfectly round, so it looked like a stupa itself, and it means relics, Asthi Kalaks, Asthama, Asthi Kalaks. So folks, I am on my way to find the Drona Stupa.
पूरी चीज के गली का होगा अच्छा पानी निकल
Okay folks, now I am on the Drona Stupa. This place is called Desna, and Desna, it seems it's a mispronunciation of the Thais and Japanese, and they call Desna Drona. So this is Desna. According to Yun Sang's mileage, this is the stupa. Dekhao. This is the stupa. It's a very big stupa. See, we came up the path this way. It's a gradual incline, and then the path. This is the highest point of the stupa, and this whole village of Desna is settled on. इसमें कौन जाति का लोग सब?
जी सब मुस्लिम
सब मुस्लिम
जी
is the Muslim people have settled on it, and the road goes down again. So folks, this is Drona Stupa. The stupa you found, the historians claim they found in Mussoorie, is wrong. This is the original Drona Stupa. Thank you folks. You saw the video of Desna. You saw how the Drona Stupa looks like now. It has a whole Muslim village settled right on top of it with a mosque on it. So that is the Desna Stupa. And now I will be taking you to the Asthava Stupa. It is much bigger, it is massive, it is huge. And there is a mixture of Hindus and Muslims living on that stupa. So folks, enjoy the video of Asthava Stupa. Oh yes, I forgot to say, the pitcher, the utensil which the Drona used to, divide the Buddha's relics, which is certainly buried somewhere in the Asthava Stupa, which you are going to see, folks. So this is a unique find. Enjoy this first viewing of the stupa. You saw now Desna. This is the stupa with the village on top next to this small river, Desna, and just next to it is Hathiyama, Asthama. See how it's a perfectly round circular stupa. This is Asthama. Ashoka opened the Desna. Ashoka opened the Desna stupa, took out most of the relics and the utensil which was used to divide the relics with. And he made a second stupa nearby. This is Asthava, and he put the vessel with which they divided the relics in this stupa. He enshrined it in this stupa. So this is Asthava. It is Asthiya. Asthi means relics. So folks, enjoy the video. You will see it is a very big video. Okay folks, now I am in Asthama and you can see the path going up. It looks, I think this is an Ashokan stupa. This is an Ashokan stupa. Asthama means Asthi. And see, I have come from down and I am climbing up. So, folks, here I am climbing up Asthama and the road goes down again. It goes down, so we are climbing to the top of the stupa. See, up here also the road goes up. ये उससे ज़्यादा ऊंचा है. हाँ? वाह. So we are on the highest point of this stupa. Yes. Now from here the stupa goes down. Ah. So this is an Ashokan stupa, folks. Ah. This is an yeah. So I am on this Ashokan stupa. The road goes down. ये ओरिजिनल मट्टी है कि भड़ाट है बॉस? नहीं ओरिजिनल. ये तो भड़ाट होगा. ये सब है. हाँ. This ट्रेन का है, ठीक है. I am on the highest section. ये लगता है उधर इससे ऊंचा है. हाँ, हाइट है ऊपर. हाँ. ट्रेन का मट्टी है. I think we are on the top of the stupa, folks. Now let's see where he goes from the Drona Stupa. From the Drona Stupa, going north, that is Desna, going northeast from this and crossing the Ganges after traveling 140 or 150 li. The 140 is around 42 kilometers, 150 is around 44 to 45 kilometers. So between 42 and 45 kilometers, we come to the country of Fisheli, which Samuel Beale translated as Vaishali. That is wrong. See, it is totally a cooked Fisheli. He thought it was Vaishali. It isn't Vaishali. Let's see. After going 42 or 45, between 42 and 45 kilometers northeast of Drona, we will find Yunzhang's Fisheli. Now let's see what Fisheli is. It is certainly isn't Vaishali. This is a cooked up word. The British historians, they cooked up, translating this book, they cooked up all the words. They cooked up Kushinagar, they cooked up Lumbini, they cooked up Sarnath, they cooked up, what do you call it, all the names. So folks, Fisheli is 42 to 45 kilometers northeast of the Drona Stupa. Let's check it out. See now, Desna is the Drona Stupa. He had brought it back to his country. Country means Des, and made this stupa here. And then Ashoka opened it and made the second stupa, that is Asthava. So from here 40 to 45 leagues northeast he goes to Fisheli. So let's see for where it takes us. 40 to 45. This is 20. 40 takes us just into the Ganges, and around 3 or 4 kilometers is Pidholi, that is Fisheli, folks. Pidholi is Fisheli. And the best part is Pandarak is here, and this is where I found the Buddha's footmark when he left the footmark and told Anand that he was looking at Magad for the last time when he went for his. So folks, Pidholi is your Fisheli. There was no city called Vaishali. There was no city called Kushinagar. These are all concocted words. So here you have Fisheli. Let's once more measure it from the Drona Stupa. See how accurate Hyun Sang is. For 20, 40 into the Ganges, and 4 more kilometers to Fisheli up here. So that is Pidholi. Fisheli is Pidholi. And folks, I found 18 stupas Hyun Sang describes about Fisheli, or the elusive Vaishali, mispronounced Vaishali. 18 stupas up here. See, if you reach the correct place, you will find everything that Hyun Sang describes. So this is your Fisheli. We will deal with this in the next video. So let's wrap this up. Desna is your Drona Stupa, and Asthava is the stupa Ashoka made next to the Drona Stupa. Thank you, folks.